Call the meeting to order. Is there anything that needs to be added to the agenda at this time? Do I have a motion to approve
Sure.
and a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda consisting of the February 25th, 2026 meeting minutes, the pending deposited gifts report, and the statistical reports as submitted? Thank you, Bill. Second?
Second.
No public here. All right, let's get started. Library friends, Clay, you want to report for us?
See if this comes on. Oh, there we go. All right.
Good afternoon, everybody. Just a few notes from the friends here. They just held their book drive this past Saturday, the 21st, and they reported that was a success. They're still vetting local authors to provide a program for their annual meeting, which is going to be scheduled on the first Friday in October. Also, they're working with us to provide some funds for prizes and whatnot for adult readers during this year's summer reading program. So that's something that I think we mentioned before we haven't done formally for a while. And they have a couple board vacancies to recruit for. So if you know anybody, please send them their way. Their next meeting will be April 1st, next Wednesday. And the book sale is still slated for May 1st through the 3rd at the main library. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank the friends. Our foundation, Susan.
Good morning. I have two updates to share. Richmond Public Library and the Foundation are delighted to share that RPL will host an early learning lab with Dr. Ron Ferguson, the basics for children and their caregivers.
Whoa.
The program will be held Saturday, May 30th, 2026 from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. in the main children's area near the Early Learning Center. Dr. Ferguson will offer a presentation with a follow-up Q&A that helps parents explore simple, powerful ways to support their child's early learning and development. Parents will then have the opportunity to put those ideas into practice together with fun, hands-on activities designed for them and their child and our child librarians. Registration is required, and as soon as we have a nice little description and snippet, I'd be happy to send it out to the Board of Trustees. Secondly, our early learning internship posting is live now. A link went out in the Foundation newsletter yesterday to all three boards, and I appreciate your help spreading the word to college students interested in child education, literacy, child development, or those pursuing careers in teaching. Thank you very much.
So let me just tell you that having Ron Ferguson here is just amazing. He's a Harvard professor, African-American scholar who developed the basics program for 0 to 5, which has been adopted in many, many school systems, many, many communities, and it's revolutionizing how we think about early literacy. And here in Richmond, not only does the library adhere in all things to the basics, but so does VPM. So many of our county sisters do. So we're a hotbed of devotees, and he is a fabulous speaker. This is a wowie. Good work. Ooh.
What was the dates?
May 30th. It's a Saturday encouraging parents and their families to come.
Yeah, he has changed little children's lives for the better I'm very thrilled with that. I will also add that there was a foundation that started to invest in our interns, the Shaberg Foundation, 2.5 years ago, and they were early investors. Susan and I found them, we wooed them, we talked to their board, we talked to their director. They gave us $50,000 to initiate the program. The next year, without us asking, they gave us $60,000. The leader of the foundation died, so we didn't know that there would be anything going on afterwards. But Susan has built such a good relationship with the director that they called her last week and said, okay, we're ready to start investing again, and we want you to be on the top of our list. So, good job, Susan. All right, library administration. Scott?
Couple things to add to the report. I want to just bring folks' attention to our circulation, which continues to climb. We have surpassed 2023 at this point in our year, and we still have 4 months left. So I anticipate that we will clear that hurdle quickly. I also want to mention budget activity and thank everyone for attending all the town halls. That definitely made a difference. CAO Donald noticed, the mayor noticed, and thank you all very much for attending those. I think it was informative in some ways and enlightening as to where the budget is going. Since that time, the CAO has crafted the presentation to council, and that is going on as it began after the mayor provided his budget proposal on early March. I can't remember the exact date at this point, but the presentations are going forward, and they're all basically using the same format. The DCAOs are presenting, so our presentation will be on April 6th, so if anyone can attend between 1 and 3 on that Monday, please come. It makes a difference if council sees us in the audience, and that's when the budget will be presented to council. I have to say the CAO has done a very good job of standardizing the process. There's less variables, so the council is seeing the same presentation for each portfolio. So that is streamlining the communication between the mayor's office, administration, and council. I think it's going as well as I've ever seen it right now. Council is having their opportunity to ask questions, they're being answered, and it's not as contentious as it was in the past because they're kind of seeing as it goes forward. So that's what we've been tied up with, and those meetings are, hitting rapidly. So I am showing up at those and helping to craft the message and provide DCAO Popovich with the information she needs to present our case, and I'll also be there to answer questions. So your presence there also adds more strength to that case. Last thing I'm going to talk about is National Library Week. That is coming up in April. Traditionally, it's going to be April 19th through April 25th. The theme this year is Community Starts at My Library, which is a good one. And we'll have Ripple story times. You'll be able to get Ripple merch. So you can visit the bonfire store that started up last year. If you recall, we did a t-shirt with an image that was created. Our library patrons selected the image, and that became available for sale. I think Shannon has a sweatshirt. Mm-hmm. We'll be doing a bookmark design contest this National Library Week. We'll also be giving away some yard signs. So I hope that you guys can see the yard signs that will be coming, and they will say "Community Starts with My Library." And this kind of harkens back to a long time ago. We did some yard signs to promote. I love yard signs. Yep. So Richmond seems to like yard signs, and so it's a nice way to show your support for the library. So I'll make sure that we all get yard signs for us to put in our yards at our homes. So that's coming. So
I'll have to ask my HOA if they'll allow it.
Oh goodness! Who could be against the library? We're the library.
You know what? I'll just do it.
Don't want to get you in trouble.
Get a letter in your mailbox.
Oh, she'll represent you. So we'll be celebrating the work that we all do every day and help us engage our community with the conversations of how libraries are meeting their needs and providing the resources that they need to be informed, enriched, and empowered. So it's exciting. So look forward to that in April. And that's all I have.
Would you like to introduce Adam?
And I'll introduce Adam Zimmerly. He is our branch manager here at East End, and he will tell you about some of the amazing progress that East End has been undergoing the last year. I think we missed him last year, so this is the first time you get to
I
hear
know,
from
it's the
Adam.
first time. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was out of town last time. But good morning. I'm glad to have you all here this time. And so, as mentioned, my name is Adam Zimmerly. I am the Library Community Services Manager here at the East End branch. I have had the pleasure to serve here for almost 10 years. It's been quite a ride. And I love it. You know, it's one of those things where this is a job that I get to come to every day, and I get to work with all the wonderful people in the neighborhood. And we've got quite a variety of neighborhoods here that we serve. In fact, that's actually one of the things that I wanted to present to you all this morning. You know, it's easy to come and have us talk to you, but what you miss out on that is some of the flavor of the people that we serve. So over the last month or so, I interviewed some of our regulars. I asked them 4 questions, and I filmed them answering it.
I love
and then
it.
prepared it for you for this morning. So, Phil, if you've got an opportunity here. Yep.
For me, it started off with me as a community space.
It's community friendly and a sense of community.
Just a great place to have a class, safe place to relax. Thank you.
Well, it's a resource, not only for coming in for books, for reading. I can give a lot of information that I don't know when I say that computer skills. It's like a community, something
A lot of different things are going on.
I apologize for the sound on this one.
convenient and friendly people, and they have what I want when I want it.
Oh,
A very welcoming place. And before I stopped driving, it was almost like a second home to me. It's close to my home. It's very close to my home. I choose this library because the staff here is dedicated. They're great at sharing knowledge. They are flexible people. They are research and information literate and technology proficient, which is a biggie for me because I am not technology savvy. And if it were not for my friends at the East End Library, I couldn't get anything done on the computer.
Definitely my neighborhood library.
It's a local library. I live about 8 blocks from here, so it's the closest you want to me.
I choose this library because it's walkable from my house. I choose this library because it is the closest library to my home, and because I feel like a VIP when I come in.
I mean, it's really the community feel. I got to know Adam and I want to say Betty and Darlene and Nicole, and it was just really cool to be recognized. And it made the process, I guess, much more exciting to look forward to. Because I can help.
That's one close to my home, or 2 because I really like the people here. Basically convenient.
Closest.
well, location first of all, but again, the staff, because, we got to know them over the years, we've been coming here for a while, and then during COVID, I realized how important the staff was to us, because we've been frequent shoppers, patrons of the library, and my kids really wanted to read books. They were at home, it wasn't, school, and people were isolated, but books was opening the world for them. And so I used to really just call up and say, hey, here my kids, give me a pile of 10 books to read for them. And that was something that, okay, even though I know there may be other books that are more accessible or like larger amounts of numbers and the inventory and the catalogs are bigger in other libraries, we continue to come back here because we just felt like this was ready to go.
It's not just a place to get a book to read.
That they would be amazed at all the things they can get here.
The professionalism, the people are friendly, they answer the questions that you need answered in a way that not only you understand, but you appreciate.
Everyone's super friendly, super helpful, and I think if you just want to come in and browse for hours, I think that's totally fine, and I think that's awesome.
Atmosphere is very welcoming. I think the staff is fantastic. I have to say, because we like also this library, they've been the best players that I've ever been around in the public library system. You're missing out.
More than helpful. That everyone at the East End Library has great interpersonal skills. They're just a great group of people.
How cozy and comfortable the space is. I tell them about librarians, and I also encourage them to support our city library.
It's pretty amazing.
To introduce Jeff, talk to people. I would say if you have kids, bring them, introduce them to books.
Like every other library, and it's not like every other library, because each person here on the staff is unique, and it kind of makes a library like no other, while at the same time, it has the setup and the feeling of every other library that I'm really thinking.
I think what's really special is how engaged the staff is with everyone. And my experience with the library has always just been you come in and you check out books, and so understanding that it's more than that and seeing that in practice is really cool.
Smaller, more intimate, I could go to Eastern Henrico and be in that big building, but it's just so like, everybody knows your name.
We could go on for a long time before I get.
If it's convenient, the people are very helpful. And if it's not here, they help me find it. So I just think it's just a pleasant place to come.
Everybody is very accommodating. Never anybody who was ever well, can't do that or don't follow through on what they say they're going to do. Kind of information that, like I said, I didn't think I could find.
I think in general, libraries definitely staff people. I just appreciate them coming and know who we are, know what we want, and then my daughter has had a chance to come and volunteer here.
So,
I want to say the staff. I mean, no organization exists without its people. And I think every person that I've met that's been a part of the Easton family has been really, really special and tremendous to me.
So the best thing about this place is the sense of community. I really love coming to the Easton Bridge Library. I feel known by the librarians, and I always see other people that I know.
Everybody.
It's serving a community that has so many different needs. Like there's very high income, very low income, lots of different races, ethnicities, and it's like one sort of gathering place and one place that serves everybody and meets everybody's needs. And I think that's really like having a vibrant home for the
Wow. Wow.
Thank you. I felt like they could say it much better than I could. You know, I get to come here, but they choose to come here. And we're just so grateful to have them, to work with them, to work for them every day. And I wanted to share that with you all so that you can get what it means to be at the East End Library.
Right. That Oscar award winning. That.
And I did want to point out as well before I cede the mic that I know that you've been working so hard and so diligently on the bookmobile. One thing that not everyone knows is that this branch grew out of a bookmobile stop. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the bookmobile that would stop down at 25th and Q. So thank you for that hard work that you're doing as well.
Will you take some questions?
Absolutely.
Shall I start? So I understand you have a program where you bring chickens in, you do all sorts of, so tell us how that came about and just a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so that's the Old School Skills program. We've done a few iterations of that. It was an inspiration from a news article from I think the late 60s, early 70s that we had here. There was a gentleman who was a world record holding oyster shucker, and he came to show kids and families how fast he could shuck oysters. And so as I was looking at that and thinking about programs, I thought, well, that's a skill that not many people, I think, have, at least not with that sort of level. And it got me thinking about what other skills we could talk about, what other skills we could kind of bring in. And so the foundation gave us a couple of grants over the years to put on those programs. And we had the city come in and talk about chickens, as well as a friend of mine who runs a chicken farm brought a couple of hens with her. We've had a wood turning lathe in this room. We've had a potter's wheel in this room. We've talked about small scale gardening, kombucha brewing, just a wide variety of things. Next month we've got a vermiculture program that's coming. So if anybody wants to get worm composting started at home, we got you covered there as well. We've maintained a really good relationship with the James River Association, following the great work that they did here. So they come quarterly and they do a program talking about kind of what's thriving in this ecosystem. Because one thing we forget living in a city is that we're also living with nature, alongside and in the midst of it. So we try to do a wide variety of programs. You know, the best thing about a public library is we have access to all of the information, all of the knowledge that is what it is to be human. So let's explore that.
Yeah. So good. Other questions?
Just generally a statement, this is fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just being able to listen to the patrons and their experiences and how much it's meant to them, some for many, many years. And it made me think of it, we should have a branch challenge just to see everyone's perspectives and how the different branches means to them. That'll be awesome.
But it ties into what we're doing for National Library Week, right? The community starts at my library. This is so powerful. It's such a powerful place because of the people that come here.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
pleasure.
And thank you and your team for everything that you do.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
All right. Advocacy Task Force, Sharon.
I don't have a formal report, but Thanks to Chris, we have his handouts. And we have not met yet, but we are planning to meet and update you at the next meeting.
Let me just add that is it in the packet?
It's in the packet, everybody has
Okay.
a copy of it. Yep.
And do you know what page it's on?
No, it's on the table.
Oh, it's
It got
on,
passed out. Yep, you have it right there.
no, the list for the summer reading dates that the staff is going to come to each of the town halls from the. Do you know what I'm talking about, Jonna?
It's on the, so the
yeah.
dates are
Oh,
here. the
gotcha.
time.
I'm not doing a comprehensive job. Thank you. So last year, we for the first time went to each council person's town hall and staff, the children's leaders talked about summer reading. And then we got a picture with the sign that showed up in their newsletters, that did a little relationship building, and it was a piece of the many things we do to let people know about summer reading, which is, to me, our magical time of year. So we're gonna do that again. So depending on which council person you're assigned to, mark your calendar, sit with your library team, make sure you're in the picture and that a picture is taken with the sign, and work with the staff to make sure that you communicate afterwards to the council person our excitement about summer reading and serving their district. So I already have my District 2 on my calendar. Get yourself signed up. If you can't make it, let us know. We have Bill without an assignment, so he's going to be our roving. Bill doesn't know that yet, but he's going to be our roving trustee member.
So and think of this as kind of your playbook. So it has the dates and times that we've been setting up. We're still working on that. It has how it will unroll. I mean, a lot of this was developed last year when we all went to the meetings and we did an after action review and kind of went through it and put this together. So trying to provide you the information you need when you show up. So as well as the sign and some talking points, and then the contact.
And Jen's done a
information.
really
Yeah.
good job. Jen and Scott have done a really good job.
Well, Jen gets all the credit.
Yeah.
So
Really, really nice work.
and Sharon, and you get all the credit. So
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Go, Sharon, go. All right, policy.
Did you not have one?
Okay, I have something for you to think about. So we are clear all in on our facilities improvement and expansion plan. Consider, you and Scott, whether we update the strategic plan, item number 1, to include facilities improvement and expansion. To me, in a business sense, to align our efforts with the strategic plan is a good idea, but I'm going to defer to you. And we may not want to wait 2.5 years till we redo it. Updating strategic plans is a very common activity. So if you two will give that some thought, to me, facilities isn't going to become more and more high level. I would want that institution to be fully aligned, but I'm going to defer to you guys. So if I can put that on your plate. If you can report back in April, not only yes or no, but yes, if it's yes, how we're going to go about it. And then we can update it on the web. And that's all we really need to do. But we need to make sure everything. Okay. That's our reports. Now, board committee reports. I'm going to start. just with something for you to think about. Since I've been on the board, I have also volunteered with the Virginia Library Association and served on a committee there. I have been on a committee with United for Libraries, just for me to get a better sense of the library landscape nationwide, issues, challenges. I have really enjoyed those two roles. I've just been informed that I've been nominated to be on the ALA advisory board representing Virginia. So I'm going to say yes to that. You who are librarians already are part of this world. If your time and interests align, these are good, positive things to do. So just kind of ponder. Going to a state level, United for Librarians is for foundations, friends, and trustees. And ALA is, of course, the national flagship. So just kind of think about that. I have learned a lot. I've learned a lot. Now let's move on to finance. Bill.
Well, Scott will talk about this more. Basically, everyone saw the mayor's proposed budget, I guess, came out last week.
March.
Week before.
Earlier in March, yeah.
Was it?
It's been
Okay.
a couple weeks, yeah.
A couple weeks
The
ago.
11th, yeah.
If you haven't seen it, there's a link. You can look for it. There are links all over the place. We basically are in the spot where everyone else in the city is, as far as a reduction in the funding. The big cuts to us, Scott's done a wonderful job of figuring out how to handle it. It's 2% cut. We are losing one FTE. Fortunately, that one FTE has already left us because of being elected to the post. So we're just going to hold off on replacing the law librarian at the moment. And that doesn't mean we're not providing the law library. We just aren't going to provide that skilled person to really maximize people's use of it. They'll have to work their way through it a little bit more, just using the resources, the LexisNexis, et cetera, that are there. So it shouldn't make any big impact on us as far as our basic operations. And from what Scott's told me and from what I've read, it doesn't look like there's much chance it's going to change. So I think we sort of just have to accept that it is what it is.
Nobody's going to get upped. Yeah.
Right. So I think we accept it's where it is. The positive in here was we've got another $1 million in CIP, capital improvement funds. So that gives us some running room to work on additional things there. The negative, obviously, is we didn't get to do some of the expansions that we would like, but I think in the current budget framework, we've done just fine. Scott, what else did we?
No, I think you covered everything. It's ongoing. The council is reviewing the budget right now, assessing what's been presented to them, asking questions, and seeing if there are ways to do, restore funds or make changes to the mayor's recommended budget. So that should wrap up about mid-April, end of April. Then we'll have a budget for next year. We've been able to, there was a 2% cut to operations. We have done our very best to minimize any impacts to services or books and resources that people use. It's not going to impact our library hours. It hasn't hit any of our primary front serving positions, so that won't change. We will delay some maintenance issues and some things that are not as critical, but we'll be able to manage this slight reduction. The personnel that will receive an increase because of to the city's commitment to honor collective bargaining. So employees in this budget will receive a 3% increase on July 1, and the benefits, retirement, healthcare, those things will be supported as they were in this year. So when you look at the budget, you see the number will have a net increase when it comes to the bottom line. We just have a decrease on operations. So we're hopeful that in 28, after we get through the this budget season that, and then the real estate assessments, those get corrected and turned back on because they've been delayed to align them with the way the budget is prepared. In the past, the budget wasn't in alignment with the way the city did their property tax assessments and valuations. So you were trying to set a budget without knowing what your income was going to be. So you can't really do that in your own home. So the city couldn't do it either. So that's why they did. But they had to freeze the assessments for 2 years. So that will come off in FY28. And so that will have a whole host of other problems that I don't have time to discuss at this time. But we will be able to move forward with what we have. One of the questions that came up, and I can get to this under facilities, was what about the main library? And I will read, what about the main library construction? Y'all did that plan 5 years ago. When is that ever going to happen? You've been talking about it. So I will remind them that in September of last year, the board set down that we haven't stopped progress on those. Main library is still needs to be brought up to code and renovation.
It's the number one issue.
Number one issue. Yep. And our branch libraries, those all need to be assessed and renovated, and we need to address the disparity in library service between north of the James and south of the James. So those are the three big issues that this board unanimously approved last year to go forward, and we'll remind them of that. So if they ask, well, what about the main library? I will remind them, we will remind them that it's still on the table and we're still working to do that. And these dollars will be invested to move forward.
I'm going to build on that. Last year when we got our first $1 million, because
Right.
we next to never get any CIP money. Never. Scott was smart to put it in the budget. We got it. We thought, whoa, super cool. We developed our strategy, the 3 prongs. And this year, because of the power of the strategy, because of the networking and relationship building, this is not magic. It's what we have proactively done. They want to invest in our strategy. That's what this money is for. So we should feel terrific about that. I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask, when they've asked about the new library, replacement library for Maine, and you said, well, that's still out there, we're bringing up Maine up to code, etc. I mean, how do we, no one in the city who's asking that is saying, and if you really want to get going with it, we're going to give you $60 or $80 million. I mean, that's the problem we have, right?
Well, at this point, think about it. We did the master plan almost 5 years ago. So that plan has a little bit of dust on it, and the numbers are not COVID proofed.
Right.
All those numbers are probably a lot higher than they were. So that needs to be revisited.
Sure.
So again, our strategy is sound when it comes to that.
I guess what I'm going to is, do we as a group need to shift and say, look, we recognize that right in the foreseeable future, there is not appetite in the city budget to spend 80 or 100 million, say. And what we really need is 20 million to do a full renovation, etc. I mean, I guess I feel like we're sort of treading water a little bit. And then we do with the CIP process. I mean, I know that's the nature
and
of it.
it's a 3-year turning average, and I think the course we're on, the strategy we have elected, we need to let it play out. It's like we're getting the cake ready to go in the oven, and it's ready to cook. And I think we're trying a bunch of different things, and some of them are going to work, and some of them are going to fail, and we're going to get some that hit.
The market's going to make the decision.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what we think, because we don't have $80 million.
The course of action we're on with the three main things we're doing, and all of the other issues we're talking about, I think, again, it will present itself, and it will come, the community will support the direction, and it won't be us asking for it, it'll be the community making the case for it, and the city will support it. It's just finding how to pay for it, which is always the problem, always. But we'll figure it out. We have the key things to remind people of is Richmond hasn't built a library in 50 years. Think about Richmond 50 years ago. We have a lot more people living here. The other interesting point that we've been talking about is that the average size of a library built in the last 10 years is 12,500 square feet. Do you know how big this library is?
Mm-hmm.
The one we're sitting in right now?
Mm-hmm.
It's 6,000
Right.
square feet
Right.
if we're lucky.
Yep.
And that is, it was lovely to hear the people in the
Saying
video.
it's cozy,
It's
because
cozy,
it
it's
really is
huge.
cozy.
But imagine if we had twice the space, and that would bring us up to just the average of the United States. So I think our case, those points are compelling in our strategy. I think we need to let people know, and I believe the plan is developing. It's getting momentum, and we just need to keep pushing on it with things like going and saying thank you in March and April. Chris has gone to the board chair visiting council in the fall and saying, we had an awesome summer. We did these things. These are our successes. These constant touch points are what the advocacy is driving the car. So I think that will come, Bill, for sure.
Other questions to Bill and to Scott? It's about the money, you know?
It's always about the money.
If you look at the current spending, everything's pretty much on track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're ready to move to facilities?
Well, I saw earlier that Scott has the estimate on the mobile library. Very exciting.
We've been working with Fleet for the last few months to get the specifications for an electric bookmobile, and it's coming in about where we thought, between $500,000 and $600,000. Once we get the specifications finalized, we're on our third quote because we're tweaking different things and discovering things that need to be put in there. That's almost there, and then Fleet will order it. It's going to take about a year to get the vehicle. This isn't like a Ford or a Chevy. We got to have it specially built, and it'll be 22 feet. It's going to be an electric vehicle. And one of the questions I had from budget just this week on our CIP was, is this going to return on our investment? I mean, are we going to save some money on maintenance? And did a quick look up on it, and absolutely, it'll probably run 30% less expensive to run an electric vehicle. For our city, this vehicle and what we're planning to do with it, it's really a great option. So it'll be sustainable. It'll drive less than 200 miles a day, so we'll never have a problem with charging. It's going to check a lot of boxes for the city in terms of sustainability and also service, and it's going to really extend the reach of the library better into neighborhoods that have challenges with transportation. So it's going to be great when it's done. So in the meantime, we're going to be developing the programming and the planning for how that. We have an overall outline of it, and we'll be able to hone that over the next year. So
once you lock in a price with them, is that locked down in a way that world events will not throw us off?
I have to have our attorney kind of read the riders on it. She will probably see that there are escalation fees. I would be astonished if there weren't. Hopefully that won't be an impact. We've budgeted around that.
It won't end the project or anything.
No. We planned for that. And then the other thing I didn't have a chance to share is that Dewberry is the architect who's doing the study for the Belmont, East End, and Westover Hills branch libraries, and they will have their study complete in April, and I'm hoping next month that we can have them come and visit and share with you the information that they have, and they'll be able to confirm or refute if we can go big here or we can't go big, or what that looks like, and what the strengths and weaknesses are of the current locations and what can be done. So that will be very helpful. Looking ahead, I'm hopeful that with the future CIP dollars, we can do this at every location and see where we're going to go. We're going to have a lot of options when that CIP, should it be approved, get in there. So another $1 million, we're getting it primed for what could be next.
What you want to spend that on?
Well, we're working on that. So
Okay.
I don't count the chickens before they hatch.
But you think about them.
You sure think about it. You think about how pretty they're gonna be and what kind of eggs they're gonna lay. Right, Adam?
That's it.
Any questions for Janet or Scott? Nope. All right. Garrett.
Good afternoon, everybody. No written reports today. I just want to thank Brent for getting the application in. And we'll deal with that in June.
Unfinished business. We are having our 3-board meeting on Tuesday, June 23rd. Jonna, can I ask you to send out a calendar request for the trustees to get the 3-board meeting on their calendars? Thank you. I worked yesterday with Reagan Thacker from the Library of Virginia. We have the framework. What we're working on right now is the interactive portion, because that was something that I thought everybody really, really enjoyed. And one of the things we're trying to sort out is standard questions you get when you say you're from the library. And an example of that would be, do people still check out books? Don't they just do everything on email? So what other standard questions should we be considering? And we're thinking of having the tables come up with answers to different questions. So we have the book one. What are you thinking? What else might we want to think about?
Why aren't your libraries as big as Henrica?
Oh.
It's a fair question.
Availability.
Or Chesterfield.
We're going to show them Adam's film, if that's the case. Yeah.
Why should people come to the library? And what resources other than books are there in libraries?
Other thoughts?
Socialization when you come into the library, like all those good people that you get to meet, or questions that you have that you didn't know that was available at the library.
Keep thinking, send them to me. We'll randomly pick 4 or however many tables we think we'll have, but we're going to have focus be messaging, and messaging in an elevator pitch, messaging in a letter, all sorts of delivery systems, and messaging to council and the administration, to your neighbors, to cultural partners and interest areas. So we're going to hit all of it. The foundation sends whoever they want, as many as they want. The friends send whoever they want, as many as they want. We're the hosts, so we all show up. And Scott, that's the 4th tier. He sends as many staff people as is appropriate. I mean, these are everybody's individual calls except for us, because we're the hosts and we do what we do. So we'll have a calendar announcement out. I'll keep reporting in how the program is developing, but it'll be Tuesday, June 23rd, an evening event, hour and a half. is what we're working on, but we're not at the point where we're doing a dry run yet, so I have a better timeline coming up. Any other unfinished business we need to chat with? How about new business? All right. Are we ready to adjourn?
Seems like it.
The next meeting is April 22nd. It's our hope we will have Dewberry as a featured speaker. Until then, enjoy possible spring weather.